What does President Trump and the Trump administration really think the outcome of the war in Ukraine is going to be? Well, let's ask Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, President Trump's special envoy for both Russia and Ukraine.
Now, with the state of the war as we see it today, is that, I've said this very publicly, that Russia is not winning this war. Because they've got a definition of victory that I do. And what I mean by that is they've not crossed west of the Dnieper River. They have not been able to take Kyiv. They've not been able to take Kharkiv. They haven't taken Odessa. They haven't made any of their goals. This was, quote, a special military operation. And yet the Ukrainians have fought boldly. They've fought exceptionally well. The Russians have been able to take most of the Luhansk Oblast, about 70% of Donetsk Oblast, about the same amount of Kherson, the same amount of Zaporizhia, and of course we have Crimea, which was the 2014 war. So when you look at the war, it's gone on a long time. The Ukrainians are fighting with great valor, with great courage, in a very modern war that probably everybody should look at. So I think the end state is we're trying to get to a position where maintenance of sovereignty of Ukraine and the war's over and the killing stops, because the killing's industrial strength. And you have to look at it in that regard of what it means if you're Ukrainian, how you want to stop this fight. And I've been in Ukraine a lot, and I look at the resiliency of the people and the resiliency of the population. We don't have modern day evaluations of how this looks, but I think it only goes back to World War II and what you saw what's happening in Kyiv, what's happened in London during the Blitz. So I think the Ukrainians have been incredibly indomitable in what they're doing, and I have, once we Ukrainians on board to get to either ceasefire or permanent peace, and we're just pushing back on the Russians now for Putin to make that call. So it's a long answer, short question. It may sound simplistic to you, but bottom line, it's a major war that needs to be brought to a close.
Thank you.